Richard Berardino, 1955 honors graduate of Watertown High. Dickie excelled in 4 sports: baseball, football, basketball, and track. His senior year, he was named to the all-scholastic team in both baseball and football. His football coach was Vic Berardino, just beginning his distinguished coaching career, and he noted that Dick was an outstanding versatile athlete who possessed fine speed, superb hands, and a determination to succeed that was beyond belief. It was a pleasure to coach him. Dick went on to Holy Cross, and while he certainly hadn't lost his football skill, he led the East in pass receptions his junior year. His baseball star continued to rise. He was named to the All-New England baseball team in 1957 and played in the College World Series in 1958 in Omaha, Nebraska. In 1958, he signed a contract to play with the New York Yankees. Played at the Yankee spring training site with the likes of Mantle and Maris, and even earning a mention in Jim Bouton's Ball 4. He became manager of the Yankee Farm Club, where he earned Manager of the Year accolades in 1966. Then he returned to Watertown High to become a teacher and varsity baseball coach, coaching for nearly 15 years, teaching for nearly 20. In the meantime, he was still managing during the off-season in the Red Sox farm system and named Manager of the Year again, this time at Elmira in 1976. In 1987, he returned from Watertown High and went to manage the Lynchburg Red Sox. In 1988, he was named the Manager of the Year not only for the league, but also for the Class A league nationally. He was named Manager of the Year by Baseball America. The Red Sox front office set up and took notice in 1989. He joined the parent club as a bullpen coach, helping Roger Clemens and the other Red Sox pitchers lead the way to the 1990 American League East title. In 1991, he became third base coach, and he now serves in the Red Sox minor league spring training coordinator and as a roving special instructor throughout the system. But I remember him as a fast, gifted athlete, as a great baseball player at Victory Field, as a great football player at Holy Cross, as a wide receiver going up and catching the ball and taking it away from Jim Brown of Syracuse, a great athlete, a great football player, a great baseball player, Dickie Berardino.
Some of you don't know that song is Mamie Riley, okay? If you went to Holy Cross, you'll know what it means. Thank you very much, Bobby. I don't think anybody could MC this program like Bobby Norton. He does a great job, right? We even coached together once a long time ago, freshman football, if you remember. When I was watching the celebration of the 1971 basketball team up here, I saw a picture. I hope I threw that sport coat away because it was the worst sport coat I've ever seen. Didn't get an Eastern coat, by the way, John, okay? Didn't get an Eastern coat. Being inducted last year. There's a couple other people here tonight that you talk about learning some baseball or football skills. Paul Basile was inducted last year, was a great running back, and there's a gentleman here who didn't quite get the accolades that Paul Basile got. Harry Ikedikian, but Harry was a pretty decent halfback, and those two guys, whenever they took the ball, it was misery for us because you think you just throw one block and you say, oh good, I did my job, and you get up and also here comes Basile in the other direction, so you look for somebody else to block and you block somebody else, and you get up and say, well, it's 2 blocks, and you look and here comes Basile again across the field. So when those two guys ran, it seemed like they threw about 15 blocks before they finished, before they were tackled. So but it was a great experience to play with those guys, and some of the athletes have already been inducted. I saw some athletes here tonight that aren't being inducted, but that played baseball or football along the line. It's really nice to see them here because it certainly does bring back some fond memories. I think high school is a special time for all of us, especially at Watertown High. And it seems that those were the days when it was simpler, it was easier, there was less peer pressure. And it just seemed that there were more teacher-coach relationships. And I know that helped me a great deal to get through Watertown High School and then fortunately go on to Holy Cross. There's a couple of things that I just want to mention. Number one, I think I've been very lucky in my career because I've had a supportive family, and I thank them for being here tonight. And some very close friends that are here to celebrate this. There have been some quotes from some players. I think, when you have a career and you achieve some type of success, I think Yogi said it correctly. He said, I think 75% of it was luck and the other 50% was ability, something along those lines. In any case, just a couple of things I'll mention. First of all, I'm not going to really tell too many stories. I'm going to make this as brief as possible, else my family's going to shoot me. But as Bob was introducing me, I was down recently in Lynchburg, Virginia with our Lynchburg ball team, and I had to go to a Rotary luncheon, and they kind of introduced me somewhat similar to the way you did. But they mentioned about my graduating, from high school in 1955, which at the time I was about 17, and then graduating from Holy Cross in 1959, which made me about 21 years old, and then played baseball in the minor leagues for approximately 8 years, which put me somewhere around 29 or 30. Then I taught at Watertown High School for approximately 21 years, which, brings me in that other category of being close to around 50. And then I managed in the Yankee organization for a couple of years, and I've been with the Red Sox 26 years, so I figured out I should be 78. Okay, 78, okay? Which doesn't sit too well, but in any case, I'll just finish up with one short story, although I know my family's gonna be upset because they said no jokes, Dad, but there's only two people that really tell the best baseball jokes. One is here tonight, George Jankowski. All right. The other is Broadway Charlie Wagner. If some of you remember, go back. Charlie's still with the Red Sox organization. And but I'll tell a short story about Tommy Lasorda. They were playing the St. Louis Cardinals, and Tommy going to Mass that morning. And the Monsignor was a great Cardinal fan. He noticed that Tommy was sitting in the pew at Mass. And that's what happens when you've been in baseball all your life. And so he knew Tommy, he noticed him there, and when Tommy came up to receive communion, and he presented the host, instead of saying the body of Christ, he said, "You're going to lose today, Tommy." And that kind of upset Tommy, so he went back to his pew, and then the Mass was over, and the congregation was coming out, Monsignor was out there, and Tommy went up to Monsignor and said, "Monsignor, how you doing?" He said, "Fine, Tommy, how you doing?" He said, "Monsignor, I'm a little upset." And Monsignor said, "Why? Why are you upset?" He says, "Well," he said, "when I went to communion," he says, "I don't think you should have said that. I mean, you're supposed to say the body of Christ." He says, he says, "if the Pope knew that, he'd be very, very upset." Monsignor looked at Tommy and said, "I don't think he would." And Tommy said, "Why not?" He says, "Because Tommy, the Pope was a cardinal before he was a Pope." Thank you.